The arrival of casualties at Teal Inlet. One troop medical squadron were by now more than used to receiving mass casualties, and this was to prove a day of running faster to stand still. Waves of mainly scout helicopters started to arrive at first light, landing one at a time, with others hovering in a Teal Inlet horizontal version of a Heathrow stack at 30 or 40-yard intervals, waiting to come in. The visibility was not good, and Teal was the only destination they were flying to, as there was a thick morning mist, the sort that blankets the English countryside after Guy Fawkes bonfires and fireworks, only this time the culprits were weapons of destruction. The usually bracing fresh air of the Falkland Islands had a slightly musty tinge, and it was uncommonly still, literally the fog of war. A sequence of photographs depicted case-fact scenes captured on someone's camera, although few, if any, of one troop had brought cameras or other personal effects ashore as a result of the briefings we had received in this respect. Everyone was working flat out, and we tried to move minor cases through to minor treatments immediately to get them out of the way. But the unit battalion aid posts had of course casevaced their most serious Priority 1 cases first. We were able to get the early arrivals through our reception triage tent and straight into major treatments, where Surgeon Lieutenant Commander Tim Douglas Riley with Chief Medic Graham Edwards and his team worked quickly to ensure we weren't about to lose anyone. More intravenous fluids, dressings and such like were passed through to the reception tent, so casualties who had arrived either with intravenous infusions that needed changing or others with non-inserted and needed cannulating with the fluid-giving needle could receive intravenous fluids that were of a reasonable temperature for their bodies to tolerate without inducing shock or hypothermia. Most airways were fine. There was rarely a need for airway interventions in the reception tent. It was mainly gunshot wounds, shrapnel and anti-personnel mine traumatic amputations. The cool climate was again proving to be an ally, even a saviour, to the casualties, and there was rarely a struggle to stem bleeding. That said, some casualties, including members of X-Ray Company 45 Commando who had waded across the Murrell River, were already borderline hypothermic and needed special blankets to help retain warmth and ensure their core body temperatures did not fall lower. Overall, though, despite some truly horrendous injuries, we were on top of the situation, and at no stage was there a panic that someone was slipping away. With reasonably warm tents, albeit only being heated with primitive Aladdin paraffin stoves, and with Mrs. Gloria Anderson keeping the Pete Rayburn stove going in her small kitchen, ensuring the major treatment area was a very comfortable temperature, not just for the casualties but for those working to fix them, the patients were kept in a stable but very serious holding state until it was their turn, in order of clinical priority, to be treated. Major Batty and his small surgical team similarly just worked through a never-ending list of cases that needed field surgical interventions. They did the minimum required, and then passed each such case back for recovery and into the evacuation ward, where Dr. Howard Oakley worked with Petty Officer Jacko Jackson and leading medic Andy Ellis to care for them until they could be evacuated. All instruments continued to be liquid sterilized after each case. There was not a single recorded case of medical-acquired infection.